On Grammy night in 2023, Stonebwoy, Edem and other Ghanaian musicians made appearances at music's biggest night. Stonebwoy was seen socializing with American artists and taking pictures. He was spotted with Fat Joe, Pitbull, but the most notable of them all was his interaction with singer-songwriter Taylor Swift. Many on social media accused him of being a groupie, an opinion many have rebutted. Generally, the reactions to Stonebwoy's interaction with Taylor Swift at the Grammys were positive, and as they should. Why? Taylor Swift is arguably the most in-demand artist of the 2020s decade currently. She's one of the best-selling artists and a streaming giant who is currently the most streamed artist on Spotify this year. Spanning a career almost 2 decades old, Swift has Grammys, 3 of which are for Album of the Year, and she's the most awarded artist in Billboard history. If Stonebwoy had a collaboration with Taylor, he would be tapping into an audience so huge that the song would probably remain his most streamed song ever. There are many benefits to a Taylor Swift feature, but how easy or even probable is that for Stonebwoy? In this video, we will explain some reasons why we think Taylor is very unlikely to feature Stonebwoy. Before we get into it, please subscribe and turn on the notification button so you can catch us very early when we post. Remember to share the video, like and comment so we know what you think. Thank you. Sketchy relationship with Black music audiences. Taylor's relationship with Black music audiences in America is pretty rough. As one would agree looking in from the outside, racial issues in America affect many aspects of their society, like politics, economics, and even music. For Taylor, the unstable dynamic between Black music audiences and her music or herself can be attributed to one of the most defining moments in her life and career, one of the most controversial moments in American pop culture. In 2009, rapper Kanye West interrupted her speech for her award for Female Best Video and basically told everyone that Beyoncé was more deserving of the award. Kanye received an enormous amount of backlash from all corners of the media. Even Obama, who was president then, called him a jackass.
The young lady seems like a perfectly nice person. She's getting her award. What's he doing?
Why would he do that?
He's a jackass.
Kanye apologized for his behavior, even though he took it back years later. However, for some, especially Black people, the backlash that Kanye West received was spiced with some racism, and that is evident in some of the different ways Black and white people would be treated for the same or similar offenses. In addition to this, the genres that Taylor has ventured into have been more white and less Black music leaning. She started out as a country singer, a genre currently dominated by white people in terms of production and consumption. Then she switched to pop, and while pop caters to a more diverse demography, Taylor still does not exhibit much of the R&B and hip-hop flair that would cause more Black people to be interested in her music. This is not to say that Taylor doesn't make good music, because quite objectively, if one would take their time to listen to her without prejudice, she is good. It is also not to say that she doesn't have a Black audience. She does, a lot of which she accumulated after she ventured into pop with her 5th album, 1989. Unfortunately for her, there came a second, much harder wave of her problems with Kanye West during the 1989 era. In 2016, Swift was framed by West and his wife Kim Kardashian as having agreed to have certain lyrics about her included in West's song, Famous. In these lyrics, West calls Taylor a bitch, and when she came out to refute claims that she had agreed to have those lyrics added to the song, Kim Kardashian released a chopped up and edited video to make it seem like she did. Consequently, Taylor was cancelled, with the hashtag Taylor Swift is over party trending worldwide and at #1. It was clear that the accumulated bad press that she had gotten since she started music, as well as the unwavering success she experienced despite all that, had reached an explosive climax that she could not avoid. Based on my observation, to a good extent, some of the black music audiences, basically those on social media, view Taylor as some sort of scapegoat upon which, where issues of pop culture are concerned, they can attack and unleash some harshness, and it would be justified because historically, and even now, black people did and are still going through worse. One way that Twitter likes to describe Taylor is that she's a poster girl for white supremacy and mediocrity. Mind you, this is a perspective I have mostly seen on Twitter, and while I'm sure some black Americans outside social media hold similar views, I don't know that for a fact. Basically, the underpinning tension between white and black people in America has manifested strongly through Taylor Swift and black music audiences. And with Taylor being a representation of what one can become when they're white and beloved in America. This is contextualized by the fact that American music history is filled with many instances where success of black talents were undercut to give more chance and opportunity to white talent. A good example is the story of one of America's most beloved musicians, Elvis Presley. Presley was popular for covering songs by black artists, which would usually not receive much success, and getting a lot of support from white people. Since white people are the dominating demography, the songs would blow up and Elvis would get most of the credits for the song when he only covered it. The practice of black musicians not being given as much, if enough at all, recognition and opportunity as white artists has caused a very justified sensitivity towards white musicians and how they are treated in the industry. Although, when it comes to Twitter, many can agree that there is much misdirected and sometimes unnecessary outrage regarding a lot of topics. Taylor doesn't collaborate much. Taylor does not have a very collaborative history in her music career. She only started collaborating with other recording artists on her fourth album, Red. Before then, the most collaborative she got was with her producers and background singers. Red featured Ed Sheeran and Gary Lightbody. 1989 featured only Kendrick Lamar. Reputation, her sixth album, featured Future and Ed Sheeran. Lover, her seventh album, featured the Chicks, who only really sang in the background. Her eighth and ninth albums, Folklore and Evermore, featured Justin Vernon from Bon Iver, and the latest album, Midnights, only featured Lana Del Rey, again singing in the background. This particular turnout shocked many fans as the anticipation for a Taylor and Lana collab was really intense. I take no issue with Taylor's approach to collaborations in her music, as I understand that with how autobiographical and specific she is with her storytelling, she would not let someone else tell her story, and it would feel out of place to have someone voicing your experience so vividly when you have a voice and the means to do that yourself. This is the main reason why I have doubt that Taylor would collaborate with Stonebwoy, who is also a recording and performing artist himself. If anything, I believe she would start by collaborating with an Afrobeats producer instead, as she would get more space to exercise her creative style while meeting the producer in the middle. In that case, she would have given enough space for the collaborator to flex their style without compromising too much on hers. That would not mean Stonebwoy's efforts at the Grammys would be in vain, as an introduction of oneself and where one comes from can open doors that would accommodate many more people than just him. So will Taylor venture into an African or black-dominated genre? In the aftermath of a racially impacted history in her music career and the Black Lives Matter movement, I believe Taylor has become more careful with how she endorses the black community, especially in America. She barely even dives completely into black-dominated genres, which is unlike her because she likes to switch up genres with entire albums instead of just a few songs here and there. Some of her more hip-hop R&B sounding songs are Endgame, Ready for It, False God, and Glitch. So I do wonder if Taylor holds back from venturing into R&B, will she jump into Afrobeats? It's not improbable, considering some of her closest friends in the industry have, even though that is not a good basis to make my argument on. Selena Gomez recently collaborated with Nigeria's Rema on Calm Down, and Ed Sheeran is an Afrobeat darling now, having collaborated with Fuse ODG, Burna Boy, and Fireboy DML. Then again, I have to bring back the point that Swift has not been very collaborative in her musical history in the way Gomez and Sheeran have. Also, with how big she is and how she can dominate any space, it could be a source of backlash, especially from Black American audiences, with how easily people are accused of cultural appropriation and how very polarizing she is in issues of race. Swift would probably choose to sit this one out. But again, you just never know. The past can only be so accurate in predicting the future. Thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. As you can see, we are just starting to grow our channel, and we would appreciate if you would just subscribe and share so we get more exposure. Thank you. In our next video, we will discuss the talented Ghanaian singer Efia and why she is yet to release her third album since 2016. See you then.